Greece is on fire. People are digging through garbage cans for food. Half the population isn't collecting a paycheck. How does America survive if we keep heading down exactly the same road until we look just like Greece? We're accelerating. Well, every sign down the road says, hey, stop, turn the car around. We're accelerating. Here to discuss is one of my heroes from the EU, Daniel Hannan. He's a member of the European Parliament, joining us from Strasbourg, France. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Hi, Glenn. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, sir. You English, you are so darn serious. It's hard on a Valentine's Day, broadcast because you're heating the screen up. Now, Daniel, you were just at CPAC, and you warned America. And I mean, I don't think the media over here even heard you because they're surprised by what's happening in Greece. What's coming our way?
Well, I mean, the way I put it at CPAC is Greece is, and indeed the European Union, is heading over the edge of a cliff with a handful of us trying to jam on the brakes while there's still time. And as we tip over the edge, we look up in our rearview mirror and we see you guys accelerating to overtake us. You haven't got the excuse that you didn't see this coming. You've got the example of Greece and the other countries in front of you. This is what happens. You increase your production, you increase your consumption year after year without increasing your production. You bridge the difference with debt, and in the end, the money runs out. Your treasury is empty, your credit is exhausted, and around the world, governments, including yours and mine and those in the European Union, have responded to this crisis by doing more of what got us into it. More debt, more spending, increasing demand even more. I'm afraid I think there is going to be literally this total crash before they understand what the problem was.
People ask me this all the time, and I know the answer, or at least the one I believe. People say, well, that can't be true. Why would responsible people do this? I mean, the politicians, they need to have money and constituents and everything else. Why would somebody do this? Do you have a handle on that at all?
Upton Sinclair, your writer Upton Sinclair made the brilliant observation that it's very difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends upon his not understanding it. Right? What do governments do? They redistribute money from the taxpayer to the people lucky enough to be inside the system. The first instinct of any minister, but particularly a Eurocrat in a crisis, is to reach for his wallet, or rather to reach for your wallet, because of course
I think we've lost him. Is he there? Oh, you know what it is? It's Big Brother. I'm telling you right now, it's Big Brother. It is. They don't want you to hear that. Can we see if we can reestablish the connection? Do we have him back on? He's back. Oh, he's back. There you go. Okay, you were saying that you Upton St. Clair, they're reaching for their reaching for the wallet.
Oh, reaching for your wallet,
right?
Because if they're a Eurocrat, they don't pay tax. They're reaching for your wallet, right? But here's the additional problem that Greece has. Greece cannot begin to grow because it has an overvalued currency, because it has been sacrificed to the euro. Greece can't begin to export its way back to growth because the European Union has taken the decision to sacrifice Greece in order to keep the euro going. So, you know what? I've actually got some sympathy with those people out in the square in Greece protesting. They can see something that is very rarely mentioned in the media coverage. We talk about bailing out Greece or giving all this extra rescue money to Greece. They're not going to see any of it, or they're going to see very little of it. Out of every dollar given to the Greeks in the bailout, the Greeks actually only get to spend 19 cents. All the rest of it is going straight to the financial institutions that made the bad investment decisions in the first place. But the repayment is going to come from Greek taxpayers. So is it any wonder that they're protesting? They can see perfectly well what's going on, which is
Daniel,
yet again, medium and small taxpayers are bailing out the very rich.
What's the answer? Make the case on the answer, because
from here...
Go ahead.
Well, from here there are no easy solutions because the debt is so large. But the least bad option, without question, is for Greece to decouple, default, devalue, price its way into the market and begin to export its way back to growth.
But what do they export?
It'll be a long uphill climb, but it's a beginning.
What do they export?
Well, the two biggest The two biggest sectors of the Greek economy are tourism and shipping, and both of those would benefit hugely from a competitive devaluation.
Okay, the United States is going to be in this situation as well. We have lost 30% of our manufacturing jobs in just the last few years. We're not making squat anymore. I mean, 10 years ago they were like, "Oh, we're going to be the financial geniuses of the whole world." Well, that's not working out real well now, is it?
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, a naturally inventive people like yours, reduced by government regulation and by economic mistakes into this position of dependency on other people. And this massive external debt. I mean, 5 years from now, your interest payments to China are going to be bigger than the whole Chinese defense budget. I think there are things you can do to get out of this problem. It's a problem caused by policy errors, and it can be fixed by getting those policies right. Stop printing money. Stop treating low interest rates as the sole goal of economic policy, right? This is in defiance of every ancient philosophy, every monotheistic religion. How did we get to the stage where every politician prides himself on rewarding debt and punishing thrift? It's crazy. It's no way to run an economy. And in the long run, return to some kind of commodity-based currency so that you don't have governments with a monopoly on money able to debauch savers and punish people who've done the right thing in order to cover their own high spending.
Anybody listen to you over in Europe? I mean, you make so much sense to me. Does anybody even listen to you over there?
Well, there are people, of course, I like to think my constituents are listening to me. They're continuing to re-elect me. But in terms of the governments acting on what I'm saying, well, that's a whole different thing, because like I was saying, governments spend money. To quote another great American writer, Mark Twain observed that when all you've got is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. When all you do is spend money, it looks like the problem to every solution.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it, Daniel. Talk to you again. Back in just a moment.